How much do we charge for our video production? How do we come up with these numbers? And should you work for free sometimes? My name is Damien Cooper and welcome to Monkey Pixel.
We've got some fresh new young talent doing some things that I know you haven't heard before.
1, 2, 3, listen.
So obviously this is a question a lot of people ask, how much to charge? And apparently nobody wants to talk about money, but I think that is actually not a good idea. Especially in this industry where there's a lot of talk about, hey, can you work for free? Can you shoot this? Or nobody really knows what to charge. So there's a lot of price dumping out there. I think this is a topic that should be talked about more often. In general, in this industry, but in all other industries as well. I oftentimes, when people come up to me or I see other videographers and other cinematographers, filmmakers, and I ask them, hey, this is a really cool project, how much did you charge for it? Oftentimes they don't really want to talk about it or what was the budget on it, and sometimes you don't even know if you're undercharged or if you're overcharged. So in this video, I really want to talk about, honestly, how much do we charge, what do we charge it for, and why do we charge that much? I mean, there's no 100% straight answer because every client and every project is different, but I can give you a baseline of what we charge. In general, we charge by day rates. We don't charge hourly because then it sometimes happens that a client just only wants you to shoot for 3 hours or 3.5 hours. But getting to the client, setting everything up, that basically ruins your chance of taking another job that would take the whole day on this day because you can't really shoot 2 or 3 things in a day anyway because you need to recharge your batteries, you need to drop off the footage, you need to travel somewhere. So we just charge by day rates. So these day rates, they differ a lot too. We start at 1,500 euros, which is basically $1,800 to $1,900 for most of our video work. And that is just the base rate. This is the base rate we charge for independent artists when they want music videos, for freelancers, or for corporate clients. And that only includes small to maybe medium-sized businesses, new startups. We start charging $2,000 a day, which is roughly $2,400 right now. First of all, why do we distinguish between corporate and independent artists and such? We consider ourselves creatives, artists. We're really into music, so we want to give new people, new artists a chance to grow and to get their name out there. So this is something we're just way more into. So for a freelancer, maybe an athlete, or a personal trainer, a painter, or an independent artist, like I said, a DJ, musician, we charge a little less than for corporate because corporate just is another environment. And I mean, a corporation is there to make money, so we charge a little bit more for that anyway. So what does our base rate include? Our base rate includes 2 people on the job, that is me and Belle, for camera, sound, assistant, whatever is needed. It also includes state-of-the-art equipment. We bring all of our cinema cameras, B cameras, all of our audio equipment, as well as lighting and stabilization. So all of that is included in our daily base rate. And here's a disclaimer. I actually run the company and Belle is a full-time employee. She's not a freelancer and therefore I have to pay for her taxes, I have to pay for her insurances, benefits and all that. She's not a freelancer, and that does make a difference because if we were 2 freelancers and both had to come up with our own taxes, our own insurances, then the base rate would have to be higher because we have to take all of our taxes out of this separately. And since she's a full-time employee, I can actually deduct her salary from the taxes. All in all, there's only basically 1 person that has to live from all that day rates instead of 2. But again, what does that include? So it includes us shooting the entire thing. There's no editing, there's no travel cost, there's no pre-production, and obviously it only includes our services. So if there's extras needed,
come on,
or we need to rent a location, all that is extra. How much do we charge for pre-production? All right, so this is basically we charge the same day rates if we need an entire day to come up with the script, the screenplay, and maybe even look at locations and everything, then we just charge another day rate. So how much do we charge for post-production? Post-production is another fixed price of $1,500, and that includes the final video edit as well as 2 revisions. And these 2 revisions could be either the client wants 1 2-minute video as well as a 30-second video for social media. Then this would be like the final video would be the 2-minute, 1 revision would be the 30 seconds. And then if they want to have something changed, so maybe they don't like the font, they don't like this shot, they want to have it replaced, then that's another revision. If 2 revisions isn't enough because the client wants more and more changes or has something else afterwards, then we charge by hourly rate, which is $150 per hour for however long it takes. So there you have it. These are all the prices we charge. But these are just the base rates for small clients, independent artists, local businesses, and that doesn't include big corporations, brands, etc. So what do I mean by that? So all these prices include our base day rate for our work, but that doesn't really include licensing. For small independent artists, clients, local businesses, they don't really have that big of a budget. They don't really have that big of an advertisement reach. So that also includes their rights to publish the video on their website, on their social media, to a limited amount of people. We don't really have, all right, you show that to 100,000 people and that's it, then you have to charge extra. No, we kind of make that up for every client we go along with. So for example, what do I mean by that? There's a local bakery around the corner, they want a new promotion video for the local business, then we would basically charge $2,000 a day plus the edit, plus the pre-production, travel costs, etc. And that's it. That all includes all the licensing they need. But then, for example, there's a really big brand, like let's say Coca-Cola, and they want us to shoot the same thing. They want us to shoot a promotion video for their brand. Then obviously we would charge more. Why would we charge more? It's basically the same work with the same equipment we do anyway, right? Right, but they have a way broader spectrum of people they promote that to. So you would have to charge extra licensing fees for, let's say, TV commercials, for maybe even cinema commercials. And also, since they're making way more money and the budget is way higher, we charge more for the licensing fees because it always has to be in some kind of proportion. So if the client only wants to present himself and his local small business, then that is totally fine with us. But if he wants to make millions of that video we just shot for him, then we would have to charge extra to get maybe a percentage of that money in return, if that makes sense for you. Okay, let's say for example, we have this one client and he wants a video and then he wants this video sponsored by some brand. Let's say we shoot the video for him and he gets sponsorship for $100,000 just for this video. Without us providing this video, he wouldn't be able to make these $100,000 off that video. So that's why we charge a licensing fee for the video to present to the potential sponsor. So we charge a little bit more than that. And that is always individually made up. So in the end, for a big corporation, our day rates could go up to $2,500, maybe even $5,000, depends on how big the client is. So how do you come up with these numbers? When I first started, I was a freelancer, I was a one-man band, so I charged way less. I had a way cheaper camera, I didn't have that much equipment, I also didn't have employees. Now the company is bigger, I have employees, I have way more equipment, we need faster and more expensive computers, we need more hard drives because we're shooting in RAW most of the time. So all these prices had to go up to sustain a successful business. For you, maybe that's different. Maybe you're shooting with an A7S II, you just started out, you have a small handheld gimbal, you're just a one-man band, and that's about it. So maybe you don't need to charge that much. You need to make a plan of how much money do you need to actually survive, and then you need to make profit, because if you're not making profit, you're actually losing money in the end. Because you need to pay for your insurance, you need to pay for your pension, you need to save a little bit of money. Also, you need to make way more than you actually need a month.
Come on!
So, for example, your camera breaks, you need to be able to buy a new camera. So if there's a client and he comes up to you and he wants you to work for free for a lot of exposure or maybe follow jobs, and then they pay you after the first job, don't do it. Because in my experience, it's just if they don't want to pay for it the first time, they won't pay for it the second or the third time. They usually go around as new filmmakers to shoot something for free, so then they can do follow jobs afterwards, but then if they need another video, they just ask another filmmaker to do the same thing and basically get all the videos for free. So the biggest offer usually is exposure. And yes, exactly, you get exposure to get clients who pay for your work. Clients like yourself who just offered us to work for free. So in general, I'd say just don't do it. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't work for free if it's on your terms. So for example, you're just starting out, you have no commercial value in your portfolio, and you just reach out to a potential client, preferably one that wouldn't probably pay for your services anyway, and create an ad campaign that might land you jobs afterwards, so you have something to show for, then I actually think that is a good idea. So when I started with professional photography about 12 years ago, I had a small portfolio of friends, portraits, some sports events, but nothing of commercial value. So I was with my girlfriend at a time at an amusement park, and they had these awesome shows with laser lights, explosions, and all that kind of stuff, but you weren't allowed to bring your camera. So what I did is I shot them an email, asked them to shoot all their stuff for free in order for me to use it for my portfolio. They obviously agreed, so I came up. I shot a lot of their shows in the beginning for free. It was only one day, so I could use it for my portfolio. They really liked the pictures I took, so they asked me the next time to hire me, and this time I charged my full day rate. From this moment on, I shot their entire commercial photography for an entire year, including billboards, ad campaigns, as well as all their events. No, I'm not saying every client will do that, but the thing is you have to provide value first sometimes, and then they see the value, and then they switch over to actually pay for you. That doesn't work a lot of the times. Probably. So worst case scenario is you have a bigger portfolio with commercial value that appeals to other commercial clients, and best case scenario is they hire you again to shoot everything for money. But then again, it only works if you do it on your terms. You ask the client, you shoot it the way you want it, because you should actually shoot for what you want to get hired for in the future. So yeah, this is basically how much we charge in general, and that doesn't have to say that you should charge the same thing, because maybe you're a bigger production company, you live somewhere where it's way more expensive, you have an expensive office in New York City, shoot with all these red cameras, and have more employees, so you need to charge way more to get to this break-even point. Or maybe it's the opposite, you're just starting out, you have a small camera, you're a one-man band, so charging $2,000 a day upwards might not actually make the most sense. But the thing is, don't undervalue yourself, because then the client will just run over you. And usually in my experience, if you only charge like, let's say $200, $300 a day, and then the client wants more and more, and you will never reach the bigger jobs in the end. I mean, I never charged $200 or $300 a day, because when you start out, and most of the jobs you will get is by word of mouth. And the thing is, if your word of mouth is you shoot for $200 to $300 a day, then you won't be hired for $2,000 to $3,000 a day, because you're only getting around the circle of clients who are willing to pay $200 to $300 a day. So start off a little higher in the beginning, and my advice is basically either work for free, do it on your own terms, and shoot up a really great portfolio, or be in that higher priced range where you actually charge what you actually want to be charged. But if you're right in the middle, in between, people run over you, you can't really use it as of word to mouth, because you're in a different client area where you don't want to be. And that is basically my advice of how much we charge. So I hope you liked that video. Maybe even if you have the balls, comment down below how much you charge for your video production services, because I'm really curious as to how much somebody else pays. I was in a Facebook group the other day, and somebody said like, yeah, I charge $200 a day. And I was like, how do you charge $200 a day? I mean, how can you make a living? You have to work every day, the entire day for the entire month to make, what, like $2,600? That is insane. So I hope you like this video. Consider subscribing for more tips on how to run a production company. Actually, we just started vlogging, so maybe you like that as well. And I'll see you on the next one.